All right. So maybe what I need to have is my Stata open here. I might have to stop storage. Okay, so I put the data files in
the folder.
In the folder. Okay, so my Stata stays here, so I can just open it. Which Stata version do you have? 18.
19.
For 19, that's the latest. All right, so if everyone can open your, so you're using, so that's fine, because I'm going to do the analysis in Stata 16, so the do file will still work when you open it in Stata 90. So basically the latest versions of Stata tend to have more fancy, additions, more things you can use. With Stata, my advice is, because I also had to learn on the fly, I've attended some Stata sort of workshops as well to help me with it, but most of the times it literally is me using the Stata code book that they have, or Googling and YouTube's amazing, those YouTubes. So if there's something you don't understand, even the error codes, when they come up and you try and fix it and you realize, I don't understand this. If you copy that error code, put it into Google, you will be amazed. And somebody has come across that error code and found a way of how you can fix it, right? Stata itself also has the help. So if there's a command, you can just put help command and you will get sort of a brief explanation of how to use that command. So it's practical, right? So the whole thing with Stata is I can tell you what to do, but you have to be you doing it on your laptop so that you can understand. You have to use the software, and over time it just it becomes second nature. And I like Stata because it's quite intuitive, right? But obviously everything that we are doing here, you can do it in eViews, you can do it in R, you can do it in any other software, right? So I'm just doing it in Stata, and I've structured it for panel data because I use panel data a lot. But you can do cross section, you can do time series, you can use Stata even for spatial analysis. Now Stata does allow you to have big data sets, so you can even have these large data sets which is where most of the analysis is now going into. If you've got data where you've got the latitude and the longitude, you can merge in other data sets with similar latitude and longitudes, and then you can do your spatial analysis as well. But today I'm just doing brief introduction to panel data. I'm not sure at which levels everyone is, so I just made the assumption that we are starting from scratch. So we're going to do the importing of data, the various ways you can import data into Stata, merging in data sets versus appending. Then we're going to generate some variables, run a few graphs, regressions, and then there's some commands to produce those nice output tables that you find in academic papers. The command I'm giving you is just one out of many commands of producing those tables, right? So it's just to get you comfortable with using data in Stata, and then afterwards it's really you guys exploring and doing what you want with and using it for your research. You can also, so today we are just going to build our preliminary data set. You'll see that I've already put it's a very short assignment for tomorrow, where I will want you to merge in another data set, so you should be able to do it relatively comfortably, and then to create a few regions, and then you just run with the data to write your report, right? And you'll see that I put in bold that it's quality over quantity, right? So You can have as many variables as you want to describe, to tell your narrative about Africa's development path, or you can be, you can have like a clear story that you want, and usually that's how you want to go about using data. Is you first have a clear story, a clear argument that you want to put forward, and then you find the data that will support your argument in the evidence and in the empirical analysis. And you also, obviously, drawing from literature will help support your argument as well. So it's just a 5-page report. I don't expect it to be a master's thesis or anything like that. It's really just to see, what have we learned from this workshop. Okay, so has everyone opened their Stata? So you can just open your Stata. You can check for updates, but I usually just I'll check next time Stata is launched. My colleague doesn't like it when I do that because he always says, check for the updates. There may be new updates. Oh, where am I? Guiding slides. All right. So the first thing with Stata is, this is the interface, right? On this side, I don't know is it looking the same for all of you? Okay. So on this side is where you see your commands will be there, right? So when we put in data, when any commands that we input here, they will be saved here. But if you close this data file, you lose all of that, which is why it's important for us to have a do file, because we can copy all our commands and put them into the do file. That do file, you save it, and that do file is the one you keep going back to, because you cannot remember all the commands. I mean, some of the commands are really complicated. Sometimes when you've put in your graphs and you've clean them and everything, you can save that command. You're not going to remember that, right? So we have what we call a do file. I think every software has it. In Stata, that is your do file. So you can just open it, and this is where we are going to we'll be putting in our commands. So I've got my Stata practical do file. I didn't put it in there because I want you guys to, type in the commands, and then you can copy and put them into your do file and save your do file, right? So the first thing we want to do is we want to input the data that we're using. So there are various ways of doing that. So I'm just going to pull in my do file. So I'll just say file open. At the end of the practical, I'll put in this do file in the folder. Where is my documents? Guest lecture, A, B, C, D, E, F. Stata practical do file. Okay, good. All right. So so the first way to import, right, data is your data sets come in different forms. Of late, I've noticed that a lot of the databases are now including Stata format, but before it wasn't like that, right? So you would have to either import it in as an Excel sheet, which is what most data sets will have. They'll have the .csv. So let's say you've got a data set that is in that form, or sometimes you get a data set that is in SPSS. You can import that in Stata as well. So you would just go to File. So if you do that file, there is an Excel sheet, I think, in your Google folder. You might want to move it somewhere. I'm not sure. Let's see if we can do it. So you import and you press, you import and you go to Excel spreadsheet. You want to tick import first row as variable names. That is very important, because if you don't do that, it will take that first row to be part of your data set, which is what it's not, right? Because your data set is made up of numbers and country names. So that first row you want to tell Stata, treat it as my variable names, because these are the variable names I'll be using in my data set. Then you go to browse, and then you find your Excel. So here we go. This is the one I put in the Google folder. Can you access your Google folder there? And then if you just click on it, it should come in, and there is your data. So this is what we should be seeing if we are all on the same page. Are we okay? Okay. So can you see already here, you've got your first command. So you can literally copy that command, so that next time, you know, if you don't want to go through that whole process, you can just say copy, and you'll put that into your do file, right? So let's here. And then you want to make into your do file that you've opened, and you want to give yourself an instruction to remind you what it was. So if you put a star, you can say importing Excel data, and then you just copy the command into your do file, and you save your do file. So now you have that command. So next time you just run that command in your do file, it will pull in the Excel sheet. So if you're missing the history, just go to Window, where your commands are going. Just go to Window, and you'll put history, and then you will have this here. And then that's where you can copy and put into your do file your commands, and then you save them, right? Anyone behind? Yes. Mzu is coming. Okay, so while everyone is catching up, I just want to show you, if you want to see how your data looks like, if you click here, you've got your data editor. In this particular one with the pen, this is where you can edit your data and make changes if you have to. Be careful when you're using that, because you can easily change something by mistake without realizing it. So if you just want to check your data to see that everything is okay, you've got the browse. So in the data editor browse, you can just open. That's how your data looks like. You've got your country name, the year, and then all your variables going across. This is a major episodes of violent data set that you get from the Center for Systemic Peace. They have stopped sort of collecting the data. I'm not sure. They said they ran out of funding. So it goes up to 2018, I think. So, you know, but it was a nice data set if you wanted to do a paper on conflict, because it measures internal violence, civil war, ethnic violence, and then it had an aggregated variable for conflict, and they measured it in terms of intensity. So if you had a massive conflict like Rwanda during the 1990s with the Rwanda genocide, that would be where you lost more than, I think their criteria was if you lost more than 1,000 people in battle-related deaths, it was classified as a major conflict. If it was lower than that, then it was a middle or medium intensity. If you had like 0 deaths during this political conflict, then it wasn't recorded. But you do have more updated data sets on conflicts on the Uppsala Data Conflict Program, UCDP, and you've also got the Armed Conflict and Location data set, so it's called ACLED. These two are the most commonly used if you're working on macro type of conflict data. they capture the different types of conflicts that are taking place in the world, and their measurements are even more nuanced. So if you have conflict where 25 people died in battle, that is recorded as a conflict, and then obviously it increases with the intensity. So they're very interesting data sets that look at conflict. There's also more so I know a bit more, a bit about this data because I do some work in conflict. They also have peacekeeping officers data set if you want to see how interventions, foreign intervention, maybe a paper that my colleague and I we are currently looking at it, is we're looking at the presence of peacekeeping officers in conflict-affected zones and the increase or decrease in sexual violence during armed conflict. So they both these data sets are available on the UCDP data set. So yeah, okay. So this is, you can see your data, everything is in your numeric variables should always be in black. If you find your numeric variables in red, it means Stata is not reading it as a number, it's reading it as a word or text, and you won't be able to use it in your analysis.
Can I just copy and paste on the
So you copy, then go to your do file, and then
This is my
paste.
do
Yeah,
file.
and then you just paste. And then you save your do file so that you don't lose it.
Okay. And how do I open the data then?
Then you go, so you simply go back.
Okay.
Yeah, there we go. And then you go to data browse, just this little one here. Yes, there's your data. Yeah.
Oh.
So you can close that window without closing this. Yeah.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yes. Okay, so we can close this window. Just this is how it shows you, and it also gives you your information here, your variables, and whether they are string or numeric and all of that. The label there that's been attached. So you can close the data browser and you'll still come back here. Okay, so in panel data, this is the structure for panel data. When you're using panel data, you stack your countries. So it will be country 1 and each year next to it. And then if you move down, you'll see you've got your next country, your next country, your next country. This is how panel, this is how Stata reads in panel data, and it's we call that long format, right? So you've got a wide cross section and a long time series. You do have data where you just have cross section, at a single time point. Stata can handle that. You also have data sometimes where it's just one country or municipality or region, and it's just the years. Stata can also read that, and there are various estimations and analysis you can do using cross-section or time series in Stata. So we are concentrating on panel data. So sometimes when let's say you import your data from Excel, and let's assume that it had come in as it's a long, but you want it to be wide, you want it to be a cross-section. You can reshape the data in Stata. So this is okay. So so if we want to reshape it, we simply, there's a command, and also, so this is in the, I think I did put it in our files, shaping, yes I did, it is there. So let's say you've got a wide structure and you want to put it in long format, or in this case we've got a long format, but we want to put it in a wide structure. You just reshape it in Stata and it will do that. Here's something you can do if you want to know if you're doing the right thing. You can put reshape in the help command and it will explain everything to you. So your help command in Stata is very useful as an initial go-to place. If you're still not understanding, then you go to Google and YouTube. And I like YouTube videos because they take you through the process exactly like what I'm doing, and they will be explaining what you're doing. So in this case, we want to reshape our data, which is long. So we just say, Stata is very intuitive. You tell Stata what to do, and it will do it for you, right? So in this case, we want to reshape wide, and we want to reshape all of these variables. We want them to be cross-section and not long format, right? Including your country as well. Before we do that, I need an ID to identify my countries, and I don't have an ID in this particular data set. Again, it's not a crisis. Most of the panel datas don't come with IDs. The ID is to identify each country. So Afghanistan will be 1, Albania will be 2, Botswana will be 3. That's the ID, because data uses numeric data to run. So you need to assign an ID to a country so that you can run it in Stata, especially when you want to then pull out and just run maybe you just want to look at the time series for Afghanistan only. So then you would want to pull out Afghanistan. If you've got your ID already, you can do that. Yes, Hannah.
Prof, is that to do with all categorical data? You have to always assign it to numerical value?
Yes, it does. If it's panel, whatever your sample is, it must have an ID, because you need to then you need to tell Stata when you start running regressions that you are running a panel data, and it will only accept an ID, a number ID, not a country ID. So when we get to that, I'll show you. So what we need to do is to generate an ID for our countries. So there's this, it's eGenerate, eGen. This is what eGen means. It means we're telling Stata generate an ID. Intuitive generate ID equals, I want you to group by, we can use the S code. You can group by the country. It doesn't matter what you group by. S code is just the ISO code of the country. So Afghanistan is AFG, Botswana is BWA. So you can group by any of these. You'll still get the same. So hopefully that works. There we go. Then I'm going to go to the browser and I will show you what the ID now looks like. Everyone has done this? Because we need this to reshape our data. Okay, so when we go to the browser, this is what you will find at the end. Here is your ID. And your ID is now assigned to your country. So Afghanistan was the first one. Then you've got 2 being Albania, 3, etc., etc. So this is a critical command that you need in panel data. When you're running panel data in Stata, you always need to have an ID. And if your data set doesn't come with an ID assigned to the country, you can easily generate it without having to physically input it.
Prof, is the ID meant to come up as a column, or is it just...
It comes out as a column. It's now part of your data set. Yes, it now becomes part of your data set, part of your variables. Are we there? Okay, and I just want to show you, can you see this? More than 2 billion observations are allowed in Stata. So you really can have a big data set in Stata. This is Prof. Eleni's license. It's not test. Okay, so in our data set, we've got 10,000 observations. 10,000 observations. How do you get it? It's number of countries multiplied by the number of years. Yes. Yes, that's the one. Exactly. That's the one. I just want to show you the command in case, you find yourself in a situation where you have to change something to a wide. What will be happening with panel data mostly is that you are going to get it in a wide format and you'll want to change it to a long format, right? But I use data that's already in a long format, so I'm just going to show you and then we're going to convert it back to the right format. Is everyone on the same page? We've all got our IDs. She was telling me that when she uses panel data as well, but she just simply encodes country. When you do that, you simply make your country a numeric and then you can use it in your data set. This is much easier for me, but like everyone has got, we all find shortcuts when we're using software. For me, it's just easier to generate the ID, and then I know I can use that ID in the analysis. All right, so now that we've got our ID, we can reshape our data. So if we say reshape wide, and then we need to put all the variables that we are reshaping, except the ones that we are going to, except the observation and the sub-observation by which we are going to organize the data, right? So the ID is going to be the observation that we want to organize the data to be wide, and the year as well. So all we want to do is we want to reshape wide, and then we want all these variables up to end region to be wide. So you just simply click each variable. You don't have to type it or anything. If you just click in Stata where that arrow is, you will find, there we go. That's why I chose a very short data set to practice this. And hopefully we won't see any red after this, comma. And then I want to organize it according to the ID of the country and J, the year. Let's see, fingers crossed, no red. Yes, okay. So it's reshaped it. Oh, did I go too fast? Oh, sorry, there we go. sorry, there we go. Yes, reshape wide, and then you're taking all your observations. Yeah, it's country. So you're reshaping wide, and then you're taking, because it's already reshaped. In your data, you're taking country and all the other variables that are there, except the code and the year. Except the code you're too far, come forward. Or you need glasses, Toani. So you're literally. All right, so if everyone. So you'll see that I am missing C code and S code. You have to include that in your list of variables, because what it tells you is that you are reshaping your data, but you've left those two variables. They also need to be reshaped. So that's what Stata is just simply warning you that, this is what you've done. So when you see red, don't panic. I used to panic a lot when I saw red. When I started with Stata, then my supervisor was like, read what it's telling you. And most of the times, 9 out of 10 times, Stata is telling you, look, this is what you have done wrong. Either you're trying to combine variables that should not be combined, or you've missed something, or you've misspelled a variable name, so it's not in that variable list, or you're using a year that doesn't exist, so it will tell you. And then when you go back to your command line, you'll see, oh, okay, yes, I forgot to put a comma here, or I didn't close this bracket, or I called my variable GDP, but I put GDP cap. Stata is like, well, there's no GDP cap in this data set, So that's, if you read the instructions, it will tell you, right? So For Stata 16, it seemed I could get away without including the S code and the C code, but not with Stata 19. So you have to put all your variables except ID and year, because those are the ones that you are reshaping on. So everyone should now have, so if you go to your data browse, this is what you're going to see. You see, now it's wide, right? And you can see with panel, this is not going to be of any, it won't work with panel data, right? Because this is here's your country in so these are all your countries in 1946. They are now being identified by the ID 1. Then you've got all your variables that had data in 1946 assigned to the countries that had data in 1946. And then if you carry on going across, you will come to your next one, 1949. You see, so now it's assigning. It's assigning IDs across the countries, but each country has its year first. So this doesn't work for panel data. So we want to go back to our long format, right? So we just simply say reshape long, you'll go back. So reshape long. You can put everything if you want, or you can just say reshape long because it's coming straight from a reshape wide. So you shouldn't have to.
I just want to know, so when is the wide format? Is it cross-section?
It's cross-section because you've got one time observation. Yeah, exactly. No, so time series, it has to be long format. Yeah.
That makes sense.
So would I be right to say that, you know how, like, for example, the GTI data comes, it's like you take a variable, list the country space.
That's white. Yes, exactly. Yes, yes. That's when, so, exactly. So World Bank is where we had to learn this command. All right, guys, are we okay? So have we all put it back? Okay, have we put it back too long? Well, this is what I wanted to use this data set specifically for. So we can save your codes and your do file, and then we are going to clear, and we are going to do something else. Now we're going to use the data set that I want us to use. Yes, Landra? Yeah. Oh, you can't see. Oh, so why do you have glasses? Yes. Yeah,
Oh no, she said she wants to use outdoor materials.
Same. First time, so it takes you on straight. It's not a big.
Okay. Yeah, you can add.
Entirely this one.
Yeah. No, so Landra is saying that, he's correct. Once you are now experts, you literally just work from your do file. You won't be working the way we are doing it. This is for people that are learning how to use data, right? So that's why I've asked you guys to have your do file there, because you'll find, with load shedding, or you never know with these laptops, it can just switch off and then you lose everything that we've done here. But remember, you saved it in your do file. So you'll simply open your do file and you'll run it. So I want to quickly show you what Landre was saying. So I'm going to clear this. If I say clear, it's gone, right? And then I'm going to use the one yesterday. So you'll see if I do this, it should bring in my data. There's my data, it's back. I'm running it from my do file. I create my ID like yesterday. Like we did today. I've got my command, I just highlighted this little arrow here in do file. It's saying execute, it's run, and then here it is. I want to put it back into long format. There we go. So that's why your do file is so critical, because all your commands are saved there, and if anything happens to your data set. Maybe you made changes to it, but the changes are incorrect, so you can close your data set because you've got the commands that can pull in the data set, and then you'll run it to where you'll run it to the point where the mistake, where you made the mistake, and then you fix your mistake, and then you continue running. So this is the importance of your do file, which is why I insisted that you have your do file. So let me copy mine because I'm creating another one. Shift, copy. So here's my do file here. And remember I said if you put a star, so here I'm saying reshaping data. Reshaping data from long to wide. Then I know what that command is doing, right? And then this one is, so you can put notes to yourself of what you're doing, reshaping data back to long. Voila. There's your do file. So that's the importance of your do file. This is where you put little notes to yourself, telling you what you were doing, to remind you. Because trust me, if you're running a lot of these do files, you're going to forget. Yes, Toan.
Hey, I'm running analysis for a research. Say I'm doing maybe like for my thesis. Is it important for me to have this do file so that an expert that's going to mark for me, you can always replicate the syntax and commands in order to generate the very same result which I've got.
So now it's becoming very, very important, especially in academia, if you're doing research, to have transparency. So sometimes even when you submit to a journal and then you get passed and they say, yes, okay, we want to publish your paper, some journals will insist that you have a link to your do file, you have a link to your data if it's not sensitive, right? If it's sensitive, you can put the it's like a disclaimer saying they can, if they want the data, they come through you to get the data. So you can put that sort of instruction, data available at request of authors, right? But definitely now you have to put up, and even here at university, I don't know with other universities, we even have like a repository where if you want to put your data and your do file, it will be there so that when people, maybe your paper is a working paper on the department working paper series, there will be a link to that repository so that they can access the data and the data set. Yeah. Yes, exactly, like GitHub as well, exactly. So there are a whole lot of platforms now where you can make your research transparent and available. And I mean, it's very important now, hey, I don't know if you have been paying, close attention to what has been, where they discovered some professor in one of these Ivy League universities had doctored the analysis somehow to get the what they wanted, right? And that's, so that was like, there was an ethical issue to it. Okay, are we done? Okay, so now just say clear, and then you'll see, and then let's look at if your data, yes. But yes, if you say reshape long, it will take it back. Yeah, it will take it back to the format that we had. So if you type clear, another way of importing your data, right, is simply, if you already have it in Stata format, it's just open, right? And then you pull in your DTA data set, right? So we'll do that later with the WDI. For now, I want to show you how you can, World Bank is a very large database. You can either get the data in long format on World Bank, or it is now, you can pull it out from WDI World Bank in Stata format, right? So the command is db I'm just going to show you. It's not advisable to download the entire data set. It takes a long time, and if you do it off campus, it won't happen. Your computer will crash, right? So I'm going to give you little, tricks or just short, how to, download the data, or how I have done it, especially when I'm at home. And even when I'm at home, downloading just little bits of it take forever, right? Because it's a massive data set. So let's see. It's DB WB open data. Can I increase the size of this thing? This is what you get, right? Oh, what's the time? Yeah, okay, there we go. Hopefully that's, should I make it bigger? Okay. Don't press anything. I told you don't press anything. This is all you're meant to be seeing right now, this window.
No, it doesn't come up.
What does it come up? The BP?
The open data is not a command.
It comes out for you. For me, it comes out.
No, even without running it, it doesn't come up.
For me, it comes out.
Or maybe I must highlight it.
So maybe you need to install it. Oh, is it coming out for you guys? What Stata are you using? You're using Stata. Did it come out for you? I think you need to install it. Yeah. That's what I want to see. Let's see. So now we'll have to SSC install, shall we say DB maybe? I don't know what the command is. Okay. Search DB. How about? No, so it won't do that. Huh? Open date. Okay. Is it? There we go. And then after that, try running the command. Let's see. There it is. Oh, sorry. Here is the command. Sorry, there it is. SSC install WB open data. You're just installing that command. It means the Stata 19 doesn't have that command. So you're installing it into that Stata so that you can use that command to run. So you'll find that a lot of the Statas, there will be some of these commands that are not there, and you simply have to install it. Yeah. So now it's going to take a while, right? Hopefully it won't take too long. But anyway, so while you're waiting, I'm going to cancel mine because I've got it. So I'll cancel. So if you want to cancel a command, you just press that X. You press this X here. But just leave it to install. Yeah. Yeah, so it's checking, yeah. Yes, I saw a hand at the back. Oh, okay. All right, so if you do, once you have it, and if you put this command, this is the window you'll get, right? Did you install it? Okay, so it doesn't take too long to install. Yeah, now put in this command. Put in this command. Is it there? Yes. So these are, and you copy these commands, guys, and put them in your do file. Because you won't remember this. There it is, Mary, there. Yeah. Yeah. So when you put that and you press enter, this is what you should get. This window here. There we go. So this is the window where you can pull in data from World Bank. But you have the option to just say you want to pull in everything, so you leave it blank, and then you would say import the data in long form because you want it in panel data format. If you don't click this, it's going to give you in wide format, and then you'll have to reshape it. So World Bank already says what format option do you want? You want it in long form. Please don't press OK, because you'll be here the whole day trying to download that whole data set. So, and most of the times, okay, fine, we want to use global comparisons and everything. Yes, Pumzi?
Besides World Bank, what else is integrated online like this?
So for most of them, you have to go to the data set, to the websites, and then they'll have the data as a download with a .dta. So then you just download it as a Stata format, and then you open it in Stata. They will also have CSV. So I'll show you another, I'll quickly show you one like pinwheel tables, which is very easy and doesn't take long, how sometimes the data comes, right? So for World Bank, again with World Bank, it's the same thing. If you go to the website, it gives you the option to download in .csv and Excel, exactly. So here, let's say you are only interested in getting, let's see what, all the countries maybe. So we want all the countries. Let's see which one I was thinking of showing you. No, that's that. Don't press OK, guys. Don't press. Yes. 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 And then then you'd submit, and then it will put the data there. So you can either choose a country if you're just doing one country, or if you're doing several countries, maybe let's say you're looking at 5 countries. So you download your data for Afghanistan, you save it as Afghanistan. You download your data for Botswana, you save it as Botswana. And because they're coming from the same data set, it's easy to merge. You just merge on country and year, or ID and year, ISO code and year. So that's the benefit of this, right? And you don't need to worry about cleaning the data or anything, because everything will be similar in this data set. So that's what I did. I didn't download it on country. I downloaded it by topics. So I downloaded each of these topics separately. I saved them, and then I just merged. And that took me, less than 30 minutes, because then it's not a big data set to download. It will download in about 5 to 10 minutes. So it's all your countries with all the variables related to agriculture and development. Yes. Yes, exactly. Again, if you're looking at economy and growth, so this is where all your GDP per capitas, your investment variables will be, you go there. And if you want to know what variables are there, just go to the data, to World Bank. It will have all the naming convention of under the themes that they're falling under. So economy and growth, download it, save it as economy and growth, merge in all your data sets, you'll have all the variables you want, right? So that's how I've done it. If you don't need all of that information, like I said, you can just pull out your countries and save all the variables within that country, and then you merge the countries together. The indicator one is you can use the indicator one as well if you want, if you know which variables you're looking for and for which country, right? So you'd put your country here, Afghanistan, and then you say, okay, I'm interested in poverty head count, and you don't need to put anything here. So we'll remove that. and then you'd download. You download your data set, and then you would merge your data sets, right? So if you do want the full latest WDI and you've got time, you can try and download it tomorrow or even today, but you have to leave it downloaded, downloading it. And I found, even when I was on campus, I found that my laptop always crashed when I tried to do the full data set. So what I would advise is, if you do want the full WDI data set, then do it the way I did it, which is I went topic by topic. So you run that and then import in long form. You say, okay, it's going to, and then you just leave it and you carry on working on whatever you're working. When you come back, check after about 5 minutes. It might be even quicker if the network is fast. You come back, you'll find that, okay, all your variables are there for that particular topic. You save it, you close it, you go back, you open, you get the next one. Then once you've got all of them, we are going to go through the command for merging. It's literally merge. You open the one data set and then you merge into that data set. So you'll have command saying merge poverty into agriculture, merge this into that as you're going, and then you'll have your full WDI data set. You save it, and then you can always use that for whatever analysis you want, right? So that was the one thing I wanted to show you guys. You were also asking about how other websites use their or show their data set. So Penwell table is another macro data set with data on GDP per capita, human capital, investments, everything. So you see, you've got options. You can download it in Excel. You can download this as data. It's for all your countries in the world, and it's got a long time series. It starts around 1800 to current as well. So that's another one you can do. And sometimes you even have the option to first play around with the data to see if it's something you're interested in. If it is, then you can come back and download the data into Stata. And the nice thing is, let's say you've got your world development indicators, you've chosen your variables, but they're variables from this data set that you want to merge in, you can merge them because the countries will be similar. All you need to pay attention to, and we are going to go into that now, is that they are named the same. So sometimes you'll get some old data sets still have Swaziland, while the newer ones now refer to it as Eswatini. So if you merge by country and year, it's not going to pick up Swaziland and Eswatini. So it means that in one data set, you simply have to rename that country from Swaziland to Eswatini or whichever way. If you are merging by the ISO code, DRC is problematic because it used to be Zaire. So sometimes they keep ZAR and then others will have DRC. So those are the things you have to be cognizant of when you are merging different data sets, is you have to check whichever variable you've decided or category you've decided to use as the merging. What you can do is you can just simply tab that or copy the countries in that data set, copy the countries in the other data set, put them together in Excel, and you just check quickly to see, okay, are these matching? Another issue is Ivory Coast. They will spell Cote d'Ivoire with the 2 dots on the O. Sometimes in the other data set, it's just Cote d'Ivoire without the 2 dots. Stata is sensitive to those things. When you merge in, it's going to think Cote d'Ivoire and Cote d'Ivoire are different, just because they're spelled differently. So you then have to change. So this is why it's important to check. What's the time? Oh, this one. It's a Penworld table. And this is the latest one, 10.01. It covers 183 countries, goes from 1950 to 2019. So it means they haven't updated it yet. Oh, hello. When did you walk in? So Eleni is good with the micro data, the survey data. If you ever want help with that, that she does a lot of Stata work in with LSMS, your world value surveys, and panel NIDS panel data, which is a really nice micro data at household level to use. But I'm not teaching you that today. So hopefully she'll be running an ERSA course next semester. So that's the one you need to. I would highly recommend that you register for that as well, because she'll be taking it from a micro level at an individual household, and this is where actually the data is. This is where the sort of the a lot of the research is going into, and you're also more likely to publish if you're using micro data. Macro data, yeah, we're starting to struggle a lot, right? So that's why I'm trying to transition now. So I'm collaborating a lot with Eleni. Okay.
Well, please, when you are doing that merging, do you have to think about the relationship or startups?
What do you mean relationship?
How are you making it? Is it one-to-one, one-to-many?
Yes. So usually what I would recommend is your larger data set is the using one, and then you merge into the larger data set. So that's how I've always thought about it. And then there's also appending. It is it's almost a tea break. I'm wondering if I can quickly do, what else did I want to do? Okay, so the last thing I want to show you now, and then when we come back, we will do the merging, because I think it will take some time. Are you guys saving your your commands? Yes. This is, yeah, okay. So the last thing I wanted to show you as well is, okay, so in World Bank, sometimes you don't need a lot of information, right? Sometimes you're literally looking for just 5 variables for 10 countries. So you can create your own Excel sheet, which you can then import into Stata, right? So in World Bank, you can go to access data, right? And you can go to so you can have your bulk download, like I said, where you can download as an Excel or a CSV, or you can simply go to your query database, right? And here you can decide, okay, do you want world development indicators? If you click on your database here, it gives you all the various databases that World Bank collects. So maybe for us, let's say we are interested in the governance indicators, right? So I will choose the governance indicators. So now I have my governance indicators, world governance indicators there. And then I want to choose maybe 5 countries, right? So I simply tick, maybe I want Afghanistan, I want, Angola, or maybe let's just look at Africa. Angola, because our institutions are so different. Angola, there's Benin, there's Botswana, etc., right? So I'll just take those 3. So now I've Oh, yes, you are right. You can also just go to A, right? B, it will take you there. Or you can enter the keyword, as Eleni is saying, and you can say Congo.
How about that down arrow of filter next to where you are? How about?
Yes, excellent. Look at that, I've been using this for so long and I didn't even know that. So you can filter by Sub-Saharan Africa. And then once you've done that, it should pull out only your African. There we go. Wow, Eleni, I need to add this for my 3rd years. Filter arrow. Yeah, this is why I like doing these things. You learn new things. You guys might also have like little tricks. Yeah. So there we go. So if you want all of them, voila. If you don't want all of them, and we just want, like we were saying, just a few, there we go, we're done, right? and then you just go to, so that's country done. You've got your, oh man, and then we've added our countries. Now we want to go to our series, right? So we want to go to our series, but I want that other view. Ay. Where's that view now? Should I go back? I don't want to go back because it's going to say, you know what it's going to do? It's going to, oh yeah, okay, good. We are here. So filter, Sub-Saharan Africa, Angola, Botswana, Burundi, Cameroon. This is what I wanted. Then you go to your series. Again, you can filter. There we go. You can filter. Remember those themes we're talking about? So you can filter. What do we want? We want, shares of GDP and other. So it will give us that. And then we can go to the, no problem. So here we want our gross, gross fixed capital formation. And maybe we want our GDP per capita. Where is this? Oh man, let's just put trade. We'll just use what we have here, right? There we've got our 2 data sets. And then your time. Here we just want to use all of them. So we'll just click everything. And then before you apply your changes, you want it in long format, you go to layout, and in your layout, you want your time in row. That's what we want our time in row. We want our series because they're coming in column, and then we leave country like this. You apply your changes, and then when you download it, so it will be a short download, either CSV or that. When you download it, here's your data. It's a short, sweet data. It should have your 5 countries with your, there we go. See? There you go. There's your data. And then you can import it into Stata, right? And generate your ID for your country and all of that. So, yeah. So we can take a break, and then we'll come back and do the merging of data sets. I'll show you how to append data sets, and then usually a lot of the times we use merging. Appending is more for surveys because you are not following the same individuals or the same individuals, but you've got them. You've got a survey in 1 year, a survey in another year, so you just want to append, so that you have the different survey years in one data set. Yeah. Okay.